Welcome to Traveling Minnesota's North Shore. This amazing interactive software package includes a 50-page book. Both the software and book break down the 143 miles from Duluth, Minnesota to Canada. I'm going to show you how to use this guide to plan your own adventure along Highway 61. This is the back of the software package. What I'm going to do is read the back to you so you can hear what's included in this interactive guide. When asked, Kate and Ryan will explain the history, the map, or things to see and do on each 10-mile stretch. The interactive guide includes Duluth Skyline Parkway, Canal Park, and Minnesota Point. Videos of waterfalls, scenic drives, and bike rides. Watch actual hiking journeys. Slideshows of must-see places, panoramic views, over 1,000 photos, ghost towns and shipwrecks, food, grocery, and gas locations, fishing hotspots, wayside rests and overlooks, historical sites, distance and time chart, GPS coordinates, North Shore State Parks, detailed maps and towns. Page 6 has a map of the North Shore. Let's hear what Kate and Ryan have to say about what is on this page.
So what are we looking at here?
This is a locator map, Kate.
How does it work?
As you travel the North Shore, you will be constantly crossing a river, going by a state park, or passing through one of the towns. Using this map, in conjunction with the mileage time chart, you will be able to see how long it will take to get from point A to point B.
I noticed when you cursor over the stick pin at the top of the page, it shows this map, with the town of Taconite Harbor and the Onion River highlighted.
These were left highlighted to give an example of another way to use this map with the table of contents. If you want to explore this 10-mile stretch, click on the Taconite Harbor to Onion River button. You then will be reviewing this section in detail.
I just love the detailed maps, waterfall videos, panoramas, hiking trails, slideshows, and all the interactive buttons in each of these 10-mile stretches.
All these areas and secret spots can be accessed by a two-wheel drive vehicle. Some of these areas are not RV accessible.
Before going on to Taconite Harbor to Onion River, you will notice at the top of the page it says 1 of 2. Let's turn the page. Table of contents, 2 of 2. And you'll notice that it has state parks, the mileage and time chart, fish identification guide, and the incorporated towns on Highway 61. Alright, so let's go to Taconite Harbor to Onion River. And you will see that we are Taconite Harbor to Onion River. Down here at the bottom it starts at Taconite Harbor. Here's the town of Schroeder, Tofty. So what we want to do is, where the heck am I? And it shows you right there, Taconite Harbor to Onion River. Gives you an idea where you are on the North Shore. So let's listen to what Kate and Ryan have to say.
At the bottom of this 10-mile stretch is Two Island River. Shortly after the river is the ghost town of Taconite Harbor. It's detailed on pages 69 and 70.
This is another one of those must-see places.
If you are not bothered by ghosts, Kate.
Not me. Next is the town of Schroeder, detailed on pages 71 and 72. Ryan, there is so much to see and do in this 10-mile stretch.
A few miles up 61 is the Temperance River Wayside and State Park. The state park is detailed on pages 73 and 74.
The town of Tofty comes up quickly after leaving the state park. Tofty is detailed on pages 75 and 76. The hikes to Britton and Carlton Peaks are also detailed.
In approximately 4 miles, you will cross Onion River and Wayside Rest.
Okay, let's move on to the next page. And here you can see the ghost town of Taconite Harbor. It's truly a ghost town. You notice the GPS coordinates. It's very easy to go by this on Highway 61 without even knowing it's there. one of the key signs to Taconite Harbor is this entrance to the harbor. So let's listen.
As you view the page photos, it gives you a sense of what the ghost town is like.
Going through the slideshow gives you more of the entire picture of the safe harbor. The first picture is the sign along Highway 61. Other photos are of the ore docks, safe harbor, the mining equipment, and more pictures of the ghost town of Taconite Harbor.
This is a fun place to explore. See if you can find the old haunted basketball court.
What we'll do is we'll highlight this star right here. Look at that old fire hydrant. That's from back in the early 60s. It's still there. You have to find it. Here's an old River State Park. Let's listen to the history of the park.
Here is another beautiful state park.
Along with the Native Americans, the French controlled this area. The first white settlers located here in 1830, manning the fur trading posts. The Temperance River is one of the longest rivers on the North Shore. It's 39 miles long. The river starts at Brule Lake, located in the Boundary Water Canoe area.
The Temperance River Gorge is just amazing.
In 1926, the Minnesota Department of Transportation paving Highway 61, acquired 200 acres at the mouth of the river.
Did the CCC have any influence here?
Yes, they did, Kate. During the 1930s, the Civilian Conservation Corps built some overlooks here. The stone stairs on the southwest corner of the bridge still remains. The present-day park was developed in 1957.
How did this river receive its name?
The Native Americans called this Kambash, which means Deep Hollow River. When the U.S. Geographical Survey crew came through in 1864, they noted this river did not have a sandbar like the other rivers on the North Shore. Because it had no bar, the river became known as the Temperance.
Why is it the only river that doesn't have a sandbar?
The Temperance River rushes massive amounts of water into Lake Superior, cutting the gorge right into the lake. The many potholes above the river are from the millions of years of swirling and rushing water.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at this hiker, and we're going to take a little hike here and watch one of the swimmers jump off the cliff into the rushing gorge here. And there he goes, Geronimo. Anytime that you start an animation, like the waterfall here, look how high this birch is. That'll tell you how high that water gets in the spring, pushing trees down. But anytime that you want to stop an animation, like this hike, we're going to go underneath the bridge here. There's the stairs. Some more CCC work. And then potholes. More rushing water. Tremendous roar. Oh, I was saying, if you would like to stop any of these animations, all you need to do is turn the page. So if you want to, we'll just go what to do here.
This is one of the busiest pedestrian crossings on
We just turn the page. What am I looking at? Let's listen.
Here is another beautiful park.
The Lutzen Park is towards the north end of town.
This is a great place to watch the waves. This isn't a swimming beach. It does have some nice rocks for sitting on, or for casting a fishing line.
As you click through the pictures, you'll see the large grassy area along Highway 61, the picnic shelter, grills, volleyball court, the playground, fire pit and different views of the lake.
One morning, I sat at the lake, drinking my coffee. It was delightful.
And there's the park. This is a brand new park in Lutsen. It is just gorgeous. Next, Lutsen. So, what to see and do in Lutsen?
As you arrive in Lutsen, the Superior National Golf Course is on your left. This is a 27-hole facility.
Take a drive up Ski Hill Road. There's restaurants, a lift to Moose Mountain, which runs all year. Cursor over the yellow star for a view of the mountain. It looks like a moose.
Take Ski Hill Road to the end. It's a Superior hiking trail parking area. Hike to the river or go further down the Superior hiking trail. Check out the overlook.
This is also an area for mountain biking on the cross-country ski trails. Click on the highlighted hiker, hike to Poplar River.
There is also some nice trout, sunfish and bluegill fishing further up the river.
The stretch of Highway 61, between County Road 4 and 5, is filled with grocery, gas, restaurants and gift shops.
Take a drive to Caribou Lake. This pristine lake has a parking area off County Road 4. Hike up to White Sky Overlook.
Click on the highlighted hiker, hike to White Sky Overlook. Cursor over the panorama. Take a view from the top.
Before leaving Lutsen, pick up some food at the grocery store. Have a picnic at Grandview Park, detailed on page 77.
And here are the GPS coordinates for the park. On the second page, we had all the towns listed. So, okay, let's go back to Lutsen. There you have it. And again, to stop the sound, just turn the page. We're back at the initial index. Let's turn the page. And let's check out the state parks. Now, the way that this works is you cursor over the state parks to view what they have to offer. Click on the button to go to the park. And let's go back. Here's the Temperance. We were just there. Let's go there. And here we are, back at the Temperance River. Or we could just go back to the state parks. So this is another way to move around within the program. Go back to the index. Let's look at the state parks. Okay, we look at the Cascade State Park here, and we can see Lutsen is, or Grand Marais is just a little bit past that. So if you're in Duluth and you want to go up to the Cascade State Park, how are we going to find out how long it takes to get there? And what we'll do is we'll go to the mileage and time chart. And here you'll see the incorporated towns and some of the unincorporated towns both ways. This is in miles in blue and in minutes in the yellow. So we're going from Duluth to Grand Marais, which is 110 miles. So how long does that take? Duluth to the Grand Marais is 135 minutes, or 2 hours and 15 minutes non-stop. So let's go back. There's also the fish identification guide. Let's take a look at that. This is compliments of the Minnesota DNR. They've done a really nice job on this. You can see that it describes the walleye, how to identify it, bass, catfish, some state records of these types of fish. We turn the page And it talks about the northerns and muskies, and how to identify the different types of muskies. Here it's northern. Then it talks about the trout and salmon, and look at all the different types of trout there are. Here it specifies brook trout, splake, lake trout, and help identify those types of fish. Turn the page, and it talks about the different types of salmon and how to identify the different types of salmon. You look at the state records, and let's go along here. Pigeon River, that's right on Highway 61. Devil Track River, right on Highway 61. Poplar River, right on Highway 61. Cascade River, right on Highway 61. And you can see some of the other ones are just pulled right out of Lake Superior. A lot of good fishing up there. So we'll go back to the index. And let's take a look at Grand Marais. Now what you'll see is, as you come into Grand Marais on Highway 61, now remember this is just past Cascade State Park, there are identified motels, places to stay, grocery store, things like that. Here's hikes that you can go on. Here's a panorama from Sweetheart's Bluff. There's Artist Point, there's the Coast Guard station, and these are just randomly selected. Laundromats, grocery store, Subway, Angie Moose Motel, gas stations, they're all along Highway 61. Grand Marais is grand packed with things. We can turn the page and it's more detailed. Artist Point and the Breakwater Walk. Let's take a little hike. There's the Coast Guard station. You go past that, there's Breakwater, there's Artist Point. Now you could rock hop along the lake out to Artist Point. This is a peninsula, or there's a trail that goes down the center of the peninsula that you can also take. I like the rock hop. Here's the trail. We'll move on. Turn the page, and there's more of Grand Marais. As you look, there's more hikes. Here's Pincushion Mountain Overlook, panorama. Some more of the Spear Hiking Trail. Here's a really nice overlook. Maple Hill Cemetery. This is a historic cemetery, and anytime you see an SUV, you can click on it and you actually go on the drive. And these drives are anywhere from 3 times to 5 times the normal speed. You can see how fast those cars are going by me. I'm probably only doing 30 miles an hour here. Phew! And again, all you need to do is turn the page. Here we are at the next 10-mile stretch, and it's like, where in the heck am I? Well, you go up to the pin and it will show you that it's from Red Rock to the Pigeon River crossing up in Canada. Here's a fun story. This is the old Highway 61 that was originally built. This is a non-maintenance road now. It is very beat up, and I don't recommend taking it unless you're on an adventure. But what we're going to do is, you'll notice that there's a speaker icon. Number 1 coordinates with this. Here's a little history.
Outlaw Bridge, the original bridge crossing into Canada.
In the early 1900s, businessmen on both sides of the border seen a need for better roads and a bridge crossing. The Canadians had a logging trail to the river. The Americans decided to build a road from Grand Marais up to the Pigeon River, where the Canadians were already improving the old logging road.
Under international treaty, only the governments of Canada and the United States could approve a bridge to link the two countries.
The locals, on both sides of the border, decided it would take the governments too long to take action, so they built a bridge using donated lumber. It took a year, and the first bridge had been completed.
In 1917, the first American crossed the bridge in his Ford. A sign over the bridge read, "Pigeon River Bridge International Boundary." About 500 people were there. The opening of the illegal bridge, soon to be known to both governments as Outlaw Bridge, this crossing became very popular, with plenty of places to eat, drink and be merry, and plenty of places to stay overnight.
The name was more cemented during the Prohibition, when Canadian booze was snuck into the country. The customs officials were a smart group, often smashing the Canadian booze on a large boulder called Crying Rock.
Crying Rock, how funny is that?
Probably not funny to the smugglers.
Yeah, probably not. The bridge came into disrepair. At least one car plunged into the river.
A new steel truss bridge was built in 1930, which remained until 1964, when the current bridge was opened.
All that remains are the footings of the old bridge and a few old, abandoned shacks.
Okay, let's go back to the index. You can see there's some panoramas here you can look at. Mount Josephine up here in Grand Portage. We'll go back to the index. So let's take a look at Canal Park real quick. And here we are with detailed of Canal Park, and all these numbers correspond to these. This is they turn this into a ghost ship every Halloween, which is a lot of fun. Let's go to Canal Park, and there you have it. You got another SUV. You can drive out there if you'd like. What we're going to do is, and there's more details, slideshows, what you're looking at. We'll go right to the park, and this gives you an idea of the parks. What am I looking at?
Let's start at the far left side of this map. It's the corner of the Lake Park. Just below the map are the parks along Minnesota Point. The facilities are listed for each park.
Just below the list of parks is the description of the Minnesota Point Nature Hike. Click on the highlighted hiker and take the hike.
The horrific 1905 storm is named after the SS Matuffa. She broke up here, trying to make it into the harbor. She lost 9 of her crewmen. Cursor over the highlighted ship and learn more about her fateful trip.
Don't forget to cursor over the yellow stars and see pictures of the parks.
This is a very fun place to visit. You cross the lift bridge and you head out, and again there's a house on one side, a house on the other side, and the road goes down the center.